Good evening from Yummy TV. Wishing you all well today. Sending loads of love as usual. As you can see, the view is beautiful. I beg you, guess where I am. James McGregor. See you soon, my boy. Boy, the interviews are on soon. Sending loads of love to everybody as usual. Today, you asking a question. You keep asking me about Canning Town, East London. I can't tell you about outside. You asked about the Longfellow, this one, that one, and this one. I can tell you that all I know about is about the inside because I haven't been out long enough to ever know about the outside, if you get what I mean. But what I saw in the inside, I booked my biggest brother from Canning Town as the greatest of all time. And that includes Build a Bomb. Because I saw so much from Build a Bomb. I see him take on 6, 7, 8 men. I used to go on a move with him regularly in there. When certain robberies used to go on, Bill was the right man to be with at certain time because all he had to do was flick out his little wrist and you fall on the floor. It's fact. But I also saw other things with him and other members of the crew and blah blah blah. And I know there's levels to this thing. It's who's in front of you at the time. There's always somebody that always bothers somebody, if you get what I mean. But Tony A, I looked at it, right? Big love, Lisa. I hope you get well soon, my darling sister. Big love, TA. Also down there in Canning Town, and your beloved daughter between the two of you, Danielle. Big love to you, my niece, as well. Sending loads of love down there, as always. Coming to see you very soon, which we'll be bringing to Yummy TV, an exclusive, very, very soon. But all I can tell you about is what I saw in there, because those are the facts, really. And I look for some of you to tell me when my biggest brother in Canning Town had to take a count, or had to take a loss, or had to take a defeat. Where? We talk about the 90s. I'm not allowed to talk about this one, but I'm going to talk about it today, and I'll phone him later on if he answers. But way back in the day in the 90s, long before that sentence, he used to hold doors for certain people down that side of town. And one night he picks up his first little cart, but he's still rowed with 7, 8, 9 of them, and still managed to come on top. The only one I've ever seen that behind closed doors with is Build a Bomb physically. And the great TA, no matter what's said or whatever, you know what I'm saying? These are the facts of that life, and that'll be out in his book one day to come, surely to come. So that's facts. I'm not really, I can't really elaborate on that too much. Those nightclubs, but I know that it's one of those stories that he's talked about freely in other things as well. But I know one thing: the answers to that is that he still came out unscathed, and those are the facts. And I look back in history, in the history books, in there. And Uncle Yummy says, you keep asking me about Danny R and this one from the East End and all that. But I can tell you today that I witnessed the great Tony A walk up to that same person you're talking about and say, listen, mate, I don't care whether you get on with him, that big gangster there and that gangster there. None of them were big enough to go to his face and tell him anything to his face. But I can tell you today that TA walked straight up to him and said, listen, mate, I book you as a bacon bonds, Danny R. You know what I mean? It don't matter about your missus, about the East End and all that kind of stuff. I don't remember. So you're asking me questions that when I looked at, I'm scratching my head and I'm thinking to myself, I'm saying, hold on, Uncle Yummy. But what I saw, I saw you bottle it from Tony A. That's all I could say. You see what I mean? So I can only tell you what I saw, and that's what I saw, and I'm not going to elaborate on it because my channel's more about, if you ain't got nothing good to say about anyone, don't say nothing at all, if you get what I mean. So I'm just answering you that question, but on another day, I'm holding on to all the big diamonds and the big solid pieces of evidence to bring out if you ever want to come and challenge Uncle Yummy and tell me anything different. So that's it. Uncle Yummy just wants to clear that up today, if you get what I mean. Because you know why? Because you know that I was there. And those are the facts. You're asking me about WS again. I tell you about him already. I told you some of the big names around that time and all that. You can't argue with WS because you know what he brings, and the way that I see things out here and the way that I saw things in there, it's not the same thing to me. Do you see what I mean? But these things are to come. The interview's about to start. But basically, I'm telling you today that the greatest of all time to come from Canning Town, as far as I know it, in there, bring someone, step forward, tell me when my big brother took a count, or he had a loss, or you did something. Come forward. The world's wide open. You could come and bring that to me, because I know that you ain't got that. Like JG, down up there north in Manchester, you can't come and bring that to me because I know there's nothing there to show. And those are the facts. Coming up later, more drama, loads of love, send loads of love.